The function
Continuous.
continuous. Well, when is this function undefined? At 0. But 0 is not in this interval. So it's all safe. Okay, then, let's think of a substitution. Something that it really scratches your eye. Because E doesn't, and x to the 6 doesn't. But what really bothers me is
1 divided by x to the 5th.
that really bothers me. I can handle e to u, but I don't really want to even think of this. This is nice. That one is not. But this is the right substitution if du, the differential, not the derivative, is in the problem. Or I can make up a constant here and there, a factor. That's okay too. But if it's not in the problem, I have to go back to the drawing board because that's not the correct substitution. So when I find the differential of this, what do I get? Remember, we should differentiate this.
So 1 over x to the 6 dx.
Careful.
Mm.
Negative 5
Yeah.
times x, that's why I wrote it, to negative 6 times indeed dx.
Okay.
Yes, so du equals negative 5 over x to the 6th dx. Who cares? Negative 5 is not a big deal. I multiply by negative 5, I divide by negative 5. So now, all this, the negative 5, the x to the 6 in the denominator, and dx, all these will be replaced by du. So then, what is left? A negative 1/5 outside. And then do not copy the limits of integration. Just tell me what you write first, and then we'll go back to the limits of integration. All this is du, the negative 5 in the numerator, the x to the 6 in the denominator, and dx on the side. And what do I replace this by?
So
E to u. E to u du. Do you prefer this or that? Well, obviously we prefer this, but now we have to stop for a moment and plug in the numbers. When I plug in 1 for the lower limit, how much is u? And these must be limits for u.
So 1.
1. Very good. Excellent. Now when I plug in 2,
1 over 32.
32 indeed. 1 over 32. But this is a nice situation. I copy negative 1/5. The antiderivative of e to u is e to u from 1 to 1 over 32. So finally, I plug in 1 over 32. Leave negative 1/5 alone, waiting. So this is e to 1 over 32 and minus e. When I plug in 1 over 32 and minus when I plug in 1. You could rewrite it, you don't have to, as the 32nd root of e minus e, but that's fine too. Very good pick. Thank you.
Could we just step through that whole problem one more time?
Yes. So, how we got the differential, is that okay?
Yes.
And then I rewrote it with a positive exponent. And then I realized that x to the 6 in the denominator and dx are fine, but I was missing a factor of -5. So I multiplied the numerator by -5, and I multiplied the denominator by -5. These two, when I multiply them, I get 1. So there is no change. But I need it. I need a -5. -5, x to the 6th, and dx, all this that I circled here, will be replaced by du. The numerator is e to u. So far, so good?
Yes.
So then I have the -1/5 in front, and I have to change the limits of integration. I cannot blindly copy 1 to 2 here, because 1 to 2 are limits for x. We're talking about u now. So I have to plug 1 in here, and I get 1 for the lower limit, and I have to plug in 2 here, and I get 1/32 for the upper limit. Now I have to find the function whose derivative is e to u, but it's the function itself. E to u prime is e to u. And then I have to copy the limits. So then I plug in 1/32, leave this alone outside. I have to plug 1/32 and minus when I plug in 1, and I get e. Any fractional exponent, it's a root. 1 is the power, and all is the denominator is the index.
Thank you very much.
Is that better?
Yes.
Perfect. Anything else from 5.5? Anything else? Or other sections? Anything else? Well, do you have enough to finish up between now and Monday?
I think so, yeah.
Is there anything from 4.9, 5.1 that you would like to go back to? Do you want to go back to the previous test? Of course, it's not going to be the same. I don't like a test on WebAssign at all, but it
I
is
saw
what.
that you uploaded an old
Yes,
test for us.
yes. Is there any problem we want to go back to? Anything else? Other sections, anything? Is this helping you, what we're doing now, or?
Yeah, it's definitely helpful. Again, I think it's just a matter of like, practicing and getting used to. Because with substitution, the work that we did tonight helped me understand it a lot more. For whatever reason, it wasn't clicking with me.
Well,
Like,
yes, because we need practice. That's why, yes. I mean, I don't expect everything to click from the first problem, right? It takes a while.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's just especially the substitution, just knowing which part of the integral to substitute out. And yeah, I think, like I said, everything we did tonight helped a lot. So
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Good. Shreya, was there 15 that you wanted from this section? I just saw the chat. Was 15 from this section?
We had already run over it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, so let's practice something else. Anything else that comes to mind? We can go back to the previous tests to review for the final. Anything you want. Any type of problem? I can also create a meeting if you'd like before the test, if you have more questions or something. Last minute, like right before we start, maybe an hour or so.
So the next test will be on or around the 16th.
Yes, Saturday the 16th, and it will cover 4.9, 5.1 through 5.5. So May 16th. Because I like to have time to grade them before the final exam on the 18th. And post the grades, and in case you have questions on Sunday, then you can ask questions, and we can have a quick review that Sunday. If that works for you, is that okay?
That works for me.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay. I don't want to stop here if you have other questions. I mean, we still have half an hour. And just you tell me what would you like to do.
I'm not really sure. Maybe we can go over
Yes?
one of the problems from the problems that you have on the practice test.
Yes, yes.
Cover everything that we did today, but
I'm ready. You tell me.
maybe the third one. I don't know if we covered something similar today.
Let me take a look. 1 second, I'm not there. Okay, I just clicked on your course. I'll open it right this moment. Okay, you're saying number 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Okay, perfect. So this is the that property of integrals. So the integral from 0 to 5 from f of x dx. And we are given a function as a piecewise defined function as e to the x plus 3x, x less than or equal to 3, and the square of x for x greater than 3. So obviously we have here 0 to 5, and it's split in somewhere at 3. So then this integral would be the integral from 0 to 3 plus the integral from 3 to 5. Now we only have to put the correct function in here. And the rest should not be difficult, right? So,
Oh, right, yeah, exactly. Okay.
so what is the first function that I put between 0 and 3?
So e to the x plus 3
Very good.
x.
And the other one is the square root of x. And now I will just evaluate both definite integrals. So the first one would be e to the x plus 3. Remember, we increase the power and we divide by 2 from 0 to 3. Now this is ugly because it's x to 1/2 plus 1 over 1/2 plus 1 from 3 to 5. When I plug in 3, I get e to the third. 9 times 3, 27 over 2, minus, I cannot assume that this is 0. I can assume that this is 0, but e to 0 is 1. Now, this is 3/2, and I have to flip that. So then I have 5 to 3/2 minus 3 to 3/2. And that's the reason why I wrote don't calculate. That's good enough. I don't want my students to work on this during a test. There's no need. You can plug all in the calculator and you'll get an answer. Is this okay?
Perfect. Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else?
Could you go over the last part after the -1? Yes, on that problem we just did. Yep.
Here?
Yep, everything like that.
So 1/2 plus 1 is 3/2. So 3 over 2 gets changed into 2 over 3. Every time I divide by a fraction, I multiply by the multiplicative inverse. So this is 3 over 2, 2 over 3. Then when I plug in 5, I get 5 raised to 3/2. And then minus, when I plug in 3, 3 raised to 3/2.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure, sure. Anything else? Anything else? If you look at problem 4, for D, it's exactly the problem we worked on today. Yes? Any questions? Anything you'd like to continue with? Anything?
I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I don't want to cut it short, but I don't. If you want me to choose, I will. If you want to stop here, I'll stop here. Whatever you want me to do. I know you need time to discover things. Yes.
I'm good. I just have to practice it more, honestly.
But would you try to finish everything between now and Monday so you can ask questions so we can review for the final as well?
I think that's doable.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think we got help from for every problem. You can always call me or text me or, you know what I mean? I don't want you to spend an hour or 2 hours on one problem. That's why you have my number.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at this point, I think, unless anybody else has a specific question, it might be beneficial to